tuning into the My Positive Perspective Internet Show today, where we feature individuals and groups who share the common goal of improving the local Charleston community. Today's episode is dedicated to the honor of the Charleston 9. Joining me today is Mr. David Griffin. So how are you doing, David?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Good. I'm doing great, man. Doing great.
Yes, sir.
David published a book called In Honor of the Charleston 9, a study of change following tragedy. And of course, Dave, you were a firefighter on that day of the Carolina mattress store. So I really wanted to ask you a question about that. How kind of did you slow after that tragedy? How did you slow your thought process down enough to realize that the tragedy could help improve other people's lives?
It took some time.
Mm-hmm.
After the fire, it kind of sped my thought process up. I was looking for ways to self-medicate myself and to make myself feel better because I was having such a hard time with the fire. So it actually sped things up at first. I took a lot of painkillers. I drank a lot of alcohol. Turned to some mixed martial arts fighting. That's how I kind of coped with what I was doing. It just made me fight those demons off that I had inside of me from that day. And then I realized one day after a fight that this is really what I want to be doing to honor those 9 guys. I knew that I could do something that would be beneficial and meaningful to the National Fire Service. So I wanted to do some research, some in-depth research. And that's where the idea was to do a study on what we've done in the fire service following that day.
Sure.
So once I started to slow my thought process down and say I can do something positive from this instead of doing the negative things I was doing, I could do something positive to help the people that were going through something that I was going through, because I wasn't the only one.
Right.
I wanted to help them get over that tough time in their life as well.
Sure. And a lot like my own personal story in my car accident, you know, I was only 16 when it happened. So when I woke up, I was really angry and really, you know, in a lot of pain. And just like, you know, you said the thought process sped up, mine did too. But people who live through traumatic events and live through tragedies have to understand that you have to slow the thought process down, and you have to kind of cut the pain off before you can start healing and recovering from a tragedy. And you mentioned you know, having the idea to write a book and realizing that information was what you had and what you could offer to the fire department.
Definitely. There's not a lot of people that have been through a line of duty death in the fire service or in the military or in the police service, and then there's not a lot of people that have been through a multiple line of duty death where you lose 9 firefighters. So I felt that was a unique case, and I wanted to spread that research and that information to other people, because on average 83 firefighters last year were killed in line of duty. So that shows you that 83 different organizations go through this. So if we can learn something from Charleston, it not only helps us here to heal, but it helps the National Fire Service to heal as well.
What was the biggest error that you saw in the handling of the fire?
Well, not the research I did wasn't much on the handling of the fire. It was on how we changed. But a lot of the research showed that we were just lacking in specific equipment and training, and that was just our culture of our organization. And once we learned that what we were lacking in, we were able to identify that and make it better, and that's what we've been doing for the last 7 years.
And you know, that's turning a negative event into a positive one.
Definitely.
Because those guys' lives did not die in vain.
Exactly.
And you know, that's, you know, the best way of looking at such a tough tragedy in life. Well, David, thank you for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I appreciate you appearing.
Enjoyed it.
Thank y'all for tuning in to My Positive Perspective. Have a great day.
On a sunny day, I feel my thoughts drift away. Only good vibes and good times living in my brain. On a sunny day, catch me there. love within, you'll never be without. So I roll, feeling strong and so invincible.